Back. Today we'll be having a look at Nebula, Voyager, the future of collaboration, proof of devotion, consensus, and governance mechanism. So what is Nebula? Focus on on-chain data, interaction, and collaboration. Built decentralized collaboration with smart assets. Nebula is an autonomous metanet, the future of collaboration. Proof of devotion. So what is proof of devotion mechanism, decentralized staking, and Nebula itself? Nebula began its journey with the vision of let everyone get value from decentralized collaboration fairly. With the continued evolution of autonomous metanet, Nebula is building a new decentralized autonomous organization, DAO, for complex data network that will fully embrace communities, decentralization, and autonomy on a contribution measure basis. The idea behind the proof of devotion mechanism is to provide a measurable value of all user base on the same size of their contribution to the ecosystem, which includes pledging, consensus, and governance mechanism. Consensus mechanism, decentralized Nebula's blockchain nodes, governance mechanism, decentralized community governance via the formation of a representative system and governance committees. So now POD is already launched on mainnet. You can check out the governance situation on Node platform. The first mainnet POD governance vote started on April 29, 2020. So what is decentralized staking? Destaking. Different from traditional pledge staking methods, which require users to transfer funds to contracts. The decentralized pledge contract records the user pledge while the assets are still in control and stored at the user's personal address. Users have the absolute ownership of personal assets, avoid the risk of loss due to technical issues. Participation in pledge is easier, which we expect to lead to significant activities. The user's decentralized staking rewards is the feedback of their contribution of holding token used in the POD, governance voting, ecosystem, incentives, and other use cases, constitutes to a positive feedback economy. For example, users vote for node via an ANAX and the candidate node ranking algorithm reference to block stabilization index and a NAX vote number. Then it's considered the contribution of the holding token. So what is the next DAO? Smart assets redefining the economy or redefining the token economy. What is next DAO? A next generation decentralized autonomous organization and the first to establish the creation of smart asset platform. So Next DAO will focus on-chain interaction and collaboration to redefine the token economy, to provide decentralized financial infrastructure, instruments, and products via smart assets. During this process, Next DAO will also discover new businesses and scenarios and promote ecosystem applications. Now, the technical features of Next DAO will consist of collections of framework models to promote a new paradigm shift. This framework includes a set of smart contracts designed to solve a series of problems for cryptocurrency from currency to governance. So if we go to Nebula on CoinMarketCap, we'll see that the current price is at 84 pence, 0.84 pence in Great British pounds. What I find really fascinating is that the supply is actually quite low. It's reasonable. It's less than 100 million when it comes to complete supply. Total supply 74 million and circulating supply is 58 million.7. Why is this different? Mostly because the coins are probably distributed evenly between the teams, ICO, and governance, staking, a list of things that the coins need to be distributed evenly. So it's not just like all of the coins can be up for grabs for buy-in. Some of the coins have to be used for different reasons, for governance, for rewards and staking, and the list continues. Another thing that I find really fascinating with Nebula is that back in 2018, in the early hype train of cryptocurrency, late 2017 and early 2018, Nebula was one of those cryptocurrencies that was having an extremely good time at £10 per coin. And it's a surprise to see it's fallen really low. Even so much as last year, September, it was at 25 pence. And right now it's sitting at 84 pence. So it's interesting to see it fall that low. Now, I'm not saying it's not doing good recently, because obviously it's come a long way from 35 pence at around March this year to about £1.20, £1.20 in April 17. So obviously there's potential. It will rise and it will fall. And given that the supply is so incredibly low, I guarantee you this cryptocurrency will definitely 100x in the future. That's a definite. I don't even have to think twice about it. That's a definite, because of the low supply and its use cases. It's got some amazing use cases, some things that I really like. So I definitely see a lot of potential. So here's what I want to figure out. If it had this incredibly high back in the early days of cryptocurrency, when I say early days, I'm talking about 2017 and 2018. That's not really early days. That was the prime. That was the beginning of the hype train. But if it was so high, why isn't it that high anymore? A lot of cryptocurrencies have been going up recently exponentially. They've just been skyrocketing, gone to the absolute moon. But Nebula, it has done well, but it hasn't done impossibly incredibly great. And I think mostly that's because it's under the radar. I mean, think about it yourself. Have you heard of Nebula before? Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But for something with such a low supply, great use cases for such a cryptocurrency of its nature, I expected to see a cryptocurrency like this at least around £5. But I guess some cryptocurrencies are really under the radar, and there are a lot of cryptocurrencies with a lot of use cases. So you can't really judge that. But let's have a look at the products, right? Linked to Nextdale, cross-chain assets. So cross-chain assets, transfer of Ethereum and Nebula assets will allow a stablecoin on the Nebula blockchain. A stablecoin does sound really fascinating. I won't deny that. Does sound really fascinating. So what they've got there is the NUSDT. That's probably Nebula's version of a stablecoin. And what they've got there is basically a trading system to transfer your assets across. So that's quite interesting. Decentralized trading, decentralized exchange with Uniswap-like features, specifically Uniswap-like features. Automated liquidity provision on Nebula, and of course on-chain decentralized pledge, and that's the decentralized staking. Pledge NAS to obtain NAX, while the pledge NAS is retained at the end user's address. NAX utilize a dynamic distribution method. So it's interesting that they go into details about these things, about staking itself, the decentralized staking, what does it mean? And obviously it's really easy to get involved in such a thing because they've got all of the links right there. So it's quite nice that they've made it so simple. Interestingly, I'm looking at it for NAX itself. I'm looking at a total supply of 1.7 billion by the looks of it. NAX is distributed as a reward for those contributing to the security of the ecosystem. The number of NAX obtained by users is related to the amount of NAX pledge, the age of the pledge, and the global pledge rate. So you can check out the white paper for NAX itself and find out more information about that. I'm not really going to get too much into it, but I still think if you go onto CoinMarketCap, current total supply and circulating supply is really low, which is really good. The fact that if that does stay that low, that just means that the cryptocurrency has a better chance of rising higher in the near future, which is good. The next thing I'd like to have a look at is their collaboration platform, go.nebula.io. Nebula Community Collaboration Platform was launched on March 25th, 2019, with the intention to explore a new collaboration model. It aims to reduce the difficulty levels of community participation, inject new ideas, creativity, and have others help with the contributed construction of Nebula. So on the go.nebula platform, community members can make their own recommendation for new and existing projects, participate in proposals, and monitor the ongoing development process for all active projects. Nebula, latest on-chain governance model, innovation and token economy, will also be launched on the community collaboration platform. So it's really interesting. You guys can check that out as well. I'll have a link to their website below, and their website is really good. It's got a lot of information, and I guarantee you'll never run out of information that you can find on this website. They've got so much helpful information to help you to understand what Nebula is. Next thing I'd like to talk about is obviously the economy. NAS is it's actually NAS is the native token coin of Nebula, viable for payments of transactions fees and the computing service charge. So all users will be able to obtain NAX by pledging NAS, and for better asset circulation, NAS utilizes a dynamic distribution method which is related to the global pledge rate. The number of NAS obtained by users is related to the amount of NAS pledged and the age of the pledge. This is so hard to just like jump in between the names of the two different cryptocurrencies. So obviously the native cryptocurrency, like they said, is NAS. And what you must understand is that these are different cryptocurrency. NAS and NAS are two different cryptocurrency. So obviously NAS, the native token, has an extremely low supply. However, NAS, the names are so different. They're so similar, but yet I have to pronounce them properly. I have to try. The supplies, as you can see, are completely different. So don't get confused between the two. That would not bode well, to be honest. So let's try to keep it as simple as possible. But that in itself is an explanation of the economy of the two different cryptocurrencies that they offer. The native cryptocurrency, of course, is probably the one that you'll be focused on most, because it's the one that you can have free will to invest in and wait on good returns. And like I said, a cryptocurrency like this, I definitely think it can 100x in the next 2 to 5 years. 2 to 5 years. I want to be specific right there. 2 to 5 years. So this is not financial advice, by the way. This video is just for educational purposes and entertainment. But overall, I really enjoyed reviewing Nebula. It's been really useful so far. I think one thing that we can end on is their use cases, and then we can end this video in a positive way. So search and query. Provide cross-chain search capabilities and unique search functions within dApps, decentralized applications. Interacting on-chain marketing, a new form of on-chain interactive market, layering the foundation for on-chain data monitoring and analytics. Project rating assessment provides a data support for single chain or cross-chain project evaluation. Gaming, social network, explore transaction, interaction, empower new dApps with on-chain search capabilities. Venture capital and incubation. Prospect new projects and explore new venture capital fields. Transaction testing and marketing forecasting. Ecosystem reporting of the blockchain economy, and provide data analytics for marketing forecasting. So that's interesting in itself. As you can see, transparency, open collaboration, and these are some of the people that they've got partnerships with. I'm guessing, or sponsorships, or just partners. Binance itself, BitClub, OKEx, all nodes. So they've got some Everstake. So they've got some positive partners that they're marketing with. Everstake staking service platform. So it's a platform where you can stake your cryptocurrency. Available coins that you can probably stake. This is quite interesting. I've never reviewed this before, but I'm going to save this and I might review this in the future. Tezos, Cosmos, and they tell you the percentage of yield that you can probably get per year. Polkadot gives you 15% yield per year. Fascinating. Kusama gives you 15%, 12% for Harmony. Elrond is not listed on how much percentage you get, but Elrond is available. Switch.io gives you 38%. I don't even know what Switch.io is, but let's check out Switch.io, because if they give you 38%, that's just ridiculous. They've got 1.3 billion cryptocurrency, 1.4 1.4 billion in total supply and 1.3 billion in circulating supply. Cryptocurrency price is actually quite low, as you can see. And what are they? That's my question. But maybe I'll do this in another video. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, and of course I will see you guys in the next one.